What's up guys, Dr. Beau here. Today we are going to be talking about the 3 different healthcare systems that we have here in America.
How can I help you today?
Question of the day is from Alex, and Alex asks, hey Dr. Beau, why are we in America so incredibly sick compared to the rest of the country? And Alex is also referencing COVID when she's asking in this email here. Alex, I want to explain something to you here as far as how America looks at our healthcare system. As you know, I'm a doctor of chiropractic, and I want to kind of give you some framing, so to speak, as far as the way that insurance companies, healthcare, politics, however you want to call it, look at the way that our healthcare system is addressed. There are 3 major groups that you may say that are taking care of your healthcare. So I just kind of want to give you a little bit of an understanding about there. And I actually wrote them down, and please forgive me, I have terrible handwriting. But the first group of healthcare is what is known as emergency care. Now, when you guys think of healthcare, you may be thinking of going to the hospital, or you broke your arm, or a person had a heart attack, or some underlying cause of an emergency that you have to rush down and be seen for. Now, a lot of the times people would think that emergency healthcare is the number one thing that is the highest cost per capita spend in America. And honestly, guys, that's not the case. Emergency healthcare is definitely very, very important. And in my opinion, one of the only reasons that we should have health insurance. But emergency healthcare is seldomly used compared to a lot of other long-term healthcare issues that are out there. Matter of fact, in my opinion, and I think a lot of other people's opinions from research that I've read, the number one thing that America has that is such higher than anywhere else in the world is the increase in chronic illness. Matter of fact, I personally believe the reason that we see so many cases of COVID and so many long-term issues, I guess you would say, is because we as an American society are incredibly chronically sick and ill. So when that happens, our body does not have the immune response, the defenses to combat different bacteria, viruses, COVID, etc. And a lot of people become ill and contract COVID. Now, without going down that rabbit hole too much, let's stay kind of on task. So there's 3 different types of healthcare like we talked about. The first one is emergency care. The second type of healthcare that people talk a lot about is something called preventative healthcare. Now, what is preventative healthcare? Preventative healthcare is healthcare to help you prevent certain diseases, illnesses, sickness, etc. So what would be considered preventative healthcare? This is for women like their mammograms. This is your yearly examinations. This is your yearly blood tests. You could also put into the preventative healthcare realm teaching sanitation, like washing your hands, or right now how we are being told to wear masks. Anything to help, quote unquote, prevent disease. Now, this amount of healthcare is actually pretty small as well. So, a lot of people are saying, but where is all of our healthcare monies being spent? And like I said earlier, a lot of our money is spent with these long-term chronic illnesses, these, cancers that are overrunning our entire population right now. But the last little portion of healthcare, in my opinion, which is the most important portion of healthcare, which does not get nearly enough spotlight. And I believe that if we flip the model and put all of our time, energy, and money into what I believe this last portion of healthcare would be, we would see a vastly different healthcare system. Matter of fact, I believe we would see a major reduction in chronic illness, a major reduction in the amount of money that is being spent every single year in our healthcare, and I think we would have a much healthier society. So what is that third tier of healthcare? That is what I call proactive healthcare. Now, what is the difference between proactive and preventative healthcare? Well, preventative healthcare is exactly that. It helps you prevent becoming sick, but it does not speak to helping you proactively become stronger. Do you guys see the difference between this? Number one, we're trying to prevent growth. And number two, we are trying to help grow the body and become a stronger being, a stronger host. A lot of times when I'm speaking to patients, especially around when it talks about COVID and these different bacteria and viruses, I always go back to it's about one thing. It is about the strength of the virus versus the strength of the host, and that's you. If your body is so much stronger than any virus or bacteria that it encounters, the body will be very easily able to adapt and overcome. If your body is worn down, if it's stressed, if it's battling a chronic illness, if it has some of these comorbidities that they talk about, guess what? That lowers your resistance and thus allows your body to become overcome by a virus. Now, thank God we have some amazing new medications that are coming out to help combat things like COVID. But really, guys, it all comes down and boils down to this: the strength of the virus versus you, the strength of the host. And that is why I believe that proactive healthcare is the answer to solving America's health crisis. So what is proactive healthcare? Proactive healthcare is very simple. We gotta do a few things. Number one, we gotta learn how to eat better. We need more nutritious foods. We're spending billions of dollars right now, billions of dollars, to try to create a vaccine. Imagine if we would shift and pivot some of that money into sustainable farming, into organic farming, into making sure that every American every single day had the opportunity to have one nutritious green juice. That alone would change the dynamic in our society. Second thing about proactive healthcare, exercise. We don't need people to stay inside. We need people to get their butt outside. We should be mandating every American does at least 20 to 30 minutes of vigorous exercise every single day. Go outside. We know that vitamin D is amazing for our body. It's amazing for our immune system. Yet, we are being told to stay indoors as much as possible. No, go outside. Get active. Your body is made for growth. Your body is made for movement. Matter of fact, if you do not take your body through full ranges of motion every single day, your body will actually kill the cells to allow some of those motions to happen. Simple equation. Think about this. You work out at the gym, you've been doing it for weeks, you feel great. You stop for a week or two because you travel or something happens, and you go back to the gym, you're sore again, aren't you? Why? It's because your body stopped regenerating those cells. It stopped basically remembering that it has to produce cells for growth. And as you know, when the body does not have motion and becomes stagnant, those are the areas of the body that become dysfunctional and diseased and ultimately lead to chronic illness. So, number one, we need to eat better. Number two, we need to move better. And number three, we need to think better. Right now, guys, COVID is running rampant. I am seeing more patients, and I'm saying young and old. Young and old, that's right. Our kids are depressed right now. I'm in California, and our kids are still, 7 months later, still not in school. They're staying at home, either parents are going to work. I'm getting reports from other local schools that over 65% of high school students are failing at least one class right now. Ladies and gentlemen, their mental status, it's terrible. I have elderly people come into my practice and say, Beau, it's the end of September and I haven't been out of my house since March. I've been scared. I don't know what to do. I have anxiety. I have depression. Is this really what we want? No. As a chiropractor, my whole job is to help assess the structure and function of the body. And I'm seeing so many different mental issues that are being brought forth. So guys, we need to proactively change our healthcare system. Eat better, move better, think better, increase the amount of activity. You know what? Like I said, get everyone outside and get them moving. We should be helping our farmers, subsidizing them to produce more food. You know, I don't believe that we should be closing all of these restaurants, yet we're keeping McDonald's open every single day. We have to find ways to stimulate the body for growth. Because if we can't, we know what's going to continue to happen. Our healthcare and our entire country is going to continue to decline over and over and over throughout the years. So Alex, thank you for this question. Guys, I hope that makes sense. We absolutely need amazing emergency care. Preventative care is important as well, but we really need to shift the focus to more proactive healthcare. So go out there today, guys. Be great. Be amazing. I love you all, and I'll talk to you later.